Hi YouTube, welcome back to my channel. So a bit of a jumble of products in front of the viewfinder today because I wanted to talk to you about a beauty topic that has been a little more on my mind than usual recently, and I've lavished a bit more attention on getting some products for my eyebrows. My eyebrows haven't really caused me any beauty issues, or I haven't lavished much attention on them until recently because I've been relatively lucky in that they've never been overplucked or particularly thin or needing a great deal of attention. Of course, needing shaping from time to time, like anybody. And I have recent years found threading is the best way to make them look reasonably groomed. And to be honest, beyond having my threading maybe every couple of months, maybe not even that much, to be honest, every 2.5 months or so at a salon, and occasionally giving them, a little bit of brush, I didn't do a lot. At home, if I needed to take out a odd hair between threadings, I would use usually Tweezerman tweezers. I've had a lot over the years, but I find these are the best and the most precise, even though it becomes increasingly difficult as you become long-sighted in middle age to wield tweezers on small things like eyebrow hairs very effectively. And then in terms of filling them in, if I'm honest, I didn't do it every day or even most days. But if I was really going for a defined look, I tended to use powder. I do have a couple of the Chanel eyebrow pencils, which I might use, but I don't find them terribly effective. But I did like having the spoolie on the end. So here's one that you can see is almost kind of shaved down. And I've got another one in my travel bag, really more for the spoolie than anything else. But I could fill in with the pencil. They're not terribly, you can see, strong, the pencils. So you're not getting really fine, precise strokes. But that didn't really matter to me until recently. And if I was really going for the defined look, I would invariably, this won't stand up, how annoying, use powder and an angled brush. This is just one from Real Techniques Superdrug. And my powder of recent years was a MAC Duo from a few years back. I don't even know if it was meant for brows. It was called, yeah, it was Morning Mr. Magpie, and I think it was, well, it was some form of limited edition. It was Kelly Osbourne, and this was a good kind of mixture. But you can see I haven't made much of a dent in these. The other MAC shadow that I liked for eyebrows was Omega, which is a matte taupe that I used a lot. So that was literally all I've done for years and years and years. Then literally this year I have noticed two things. Well, not noticed. One thing has been, of course, I haven't been able to get them threaded or professionally tweezed or anything like that during lockdown. In fact, I haven't had anything done professionally since probably the end of mid-January, so getting on for 9 months. So they haven't been looking as groomed with my unprofessional tweezing. But more fundamentally, and I don't think linked to that, in other words, I don't think I've done it by over tweezing. I started to notice that my left eyebrow on the outer brow was looking a bit lighter, and by that I mean both a bit more sparse in the number of hairs, and also bizarrely they seem lighter coloured than the rest of the brow. And then just to kind of compensate for that, I keep getting this one really strong, thick, slightly curly when it grows, and it keeps on growing hair in the upper part of that left-handed brow that I keep having to pull out. It's really difficult to get out, and then seems to kind of leave a gap. So that was a new experience for me, and I thought, well, maybe I need to start with a kind of brow brush or one of the specific pens. Now, truth to tell, the first one I got was actually, I think, before lockdown. So that reassures me that this problem isn't to do with my bad tweezing, because I bought this in Superdrug, and it's just a really cheap Revolution, one of those drugstore ones in the kind of mid colour, and they're all very similar, come with the little brush and you kind of stroke it through. And that was okay. I didn't think it looked particularly fantastic. So I thought, well, maybe it's because it's a cheapo product. I also ought to go for one of the ones that get a really good write-up. And so now I've got two of these because I've just bought a new one, and they're both the Charlotte Tilbury Legendary Brows, but they're in different colours. So I think this is the original one that I bought. No, I think that's the new one, to be honest. Suffice it to say, I think the original one that I bought was a bit too light. Are they even any different? So there's that one. The writing's so tiny, I can't actually read it. The new one, because I still got the box, I can tell is Star Brow Light Brown. And I think the other one was meant to be a fair one. So, oops, you can't see either of those. Do they look any different? Not so much, really, do they? I think this is supposed to be the dark blonde one, and this is supposed to be the light brown one. And they look pretty much identical. So it looks as if I've just wasted another £22 or so. Because if I'm honest, the Charlotte Tilbury brow brush that everyone raves about didn't really give a better outcome than the cheapo Revolution, which was about £5. And the brushes aren't that different. I mean, I suppose the Tilbury one is maybe a bit more refined. It's definitely a bit slimmer, isn't it? Oh, it looks covered in product there. Anyway, so that's been the experience so far with the brows and brushes. And so I suppose my feeling was that really I like the look of the powder fill-in better, but it really doesn't work well for those parts of the brow that really haven't got enough hairs for it to kind of cling onto, and it just looks as if you've coloured in your skin. Do you know what I mean? Which is what happens when people have got really sparse brows. I should say that I've also just got the Anastasia, which I think is the kind of queen of the tinted brow gels. I haven't even opened that yet, and I've got that in brunette. So I don't intend opening that unless things get very bad, until I've used up these other ones that I've wasted my money on. Then I saw a video by my makeup heroine, Lisa Eldridge, which was actually about a number of products she'd bought in the summer, I think 5 products. And she was talking about a product primarily to nourish her eyelashes and make them grow, and raving about this brand called Noya or Noi. That she'd had to import from America because you can't get it here. You have to get it from Nordstrom or somewhere like that. And she had tried that and found it to be very, very effective. And I do tend to trust Lisa Eldridge. She had also bought, which she hadn't used for very long, but on the back of the fact she thought the eyelash product was so good, their brow product, which is Noi Brow. And there was some sort of deal at Nordstrom. So, of course, Muggins here ended up ordering this straight away. It is fiendishly expensive. And by the time you've done the conversion of the dollars to pounds, and the pounds wasn't very strong at the time I bought it, then you have to pay import duties if you're doing it through Nordstrom or somewhere like that, and postage. It was the best part of £100, which is ridiculous for a product. here's what you get, this little brush with some serum on, and you're supposed to paste it on twice a day, morning and night. It's quite sticky. Now, a number of people, when I said I got this, which was just before the holidays, on Instagram, said they thought it was really good. I took a selfie of my brows just before I went on holiday, before I started using it. I have to say I wasn't as religious about putting it on every day as I should have been, although I did apply it reasonably regularly. I don't think it's brilliant to wear during the day because it does this kind of sticky drying around your brow area, which, you know, doesn't look great. So I tended to wear it just in the nights. And I thought it was making a difference. I really, really, really did. So I was about to rave about it on Instagram. And then I looked at the selfie and compared that, and I wasn't so sure. And that's the position I'm in at the moment. I'm still not sure. Oh, sorry. Yeah, I'm going to tell you what I end up thinking when I finish using it. Give it a bit more of a go. But the power of the psychological, really. We want these things to work, don't we? So I'll have to let you know about that. And then, just in the midst of all this, funnily enough, somebody sent me a present. So unusually, I haven't had to pay for something from Chanel, which is so dinky. It's their new brow set. They have been doing these for years. And in fact, I've had two in the past and managed to lose both of them. They slightly changed it. It used to just have the brow and the baby tweezers and a brush. Now you've got, let me take them out and show you, the dinky little brush to apply. What have I done with the other one? It's just a little eye brush that has gone rolling off somewhere. Then this is what is so clever. The dinky little tweezers. They're not, I haven't tried using these, but if they're anything like the ones I had in the previous one, they're not as good as the tweezer men, but it's quite nice to have in your handbag. And it's Marc Chanel. How cute is that? And this is a nice and welcome addition. A little baby Chanel spoolie. And then two brow colours, which would be excellent for my colouring. So I haven't used that yet, but I thought it was kind of karma that I was sent this just as I was becoming so obsessed with eyebrows. I've managed to put the other brush, but it's just a little sponge brush on the floor. So I think this has been a relaunch, the brow palette, and there are several different colours on the website at the moment. So there we go. That's my ever-expanding eyebrow cache. It definitely, groomed brows do make a difference. And I like strong brows, and I think you do look much more put together. And at the moment I'm finding with all this mask wearing, of course, it's the top half of our face, the brows and the eyes that you've got to concentrate on because nobody's seeing much of the rest of your face. And it's just dirtying your mask. So a good eye look is what I'm aiming for at the moment. So interested to hear about any of your comments, particularly about these, eyebrow products, Charlotte Tilbury Legendary Brows and Anastasia, and what you think about them. And if anyone has used the Neubrow, particularly any of my American friends, subscribers, casual watchers who are more likely to have used it because it's an American product. It would be interesting to know, is it worth the money, do you think, or is it just a big con? I'm still not sure. Anyway, until next time, bye for now.